First, the male's antlers, which can grow 12 to 14 points per bar. Meanwhile, the smaller animal resting by the tree is a female blackbuck antelope. Female blackbucks are a light cream color, while males are a darker brown with spiral-shaped horns. And on the hillside to the right, we have a gathering of Bactrian deer. The Bactrian is native to Central Asia. Populations were difficult to monitor for a time due to political conflict in the region. Thankfully, researchers at the Wildlife Conservation Society confirm that Bactrian deer are still present in Afghanistan after they've gone unseen in the wild for nearly 40 years. As we continue through the meadow, the structure we'll be passing represents an interesting WCS conservation story.
Farmers in Indonesia live closely with wild animals, like elephants, which we will see shortly. WCS field staff work with local leaders and farmers in Indonesia to come up with the Crop Protection Unit. This unit created many different ways for farming to continue in close proximity of wild animals. One strategy was to soak ropes in chili powder and place them around the crops. Elephants do not like chili and leave the farms alone, allowing the farmer and the animals to share the habitat peacefully.
I'm guessing that most of us here on board know what the word extinct means. If a plant or animal has gone extinct, close to the fence, folks, but remember to stay in those seats. We need to follow the safety rules. Parents and guardians, small children can be in a seat or a lap, but they cannot be standing up or walking around the train car. And as we continue on our way through the Schmalsky's horse pasture, here's our expert, Jonathan Slatt, with more about these rare, beautiful animals and the efforts being made to help save their species.
I'm Jonathan Slatt, and I'm the Russia and Northeast Asia coordinator for the Wildlife Conservation Society. I believe that wildlife has a place on this earth, and my job is to find practical solutions that allow people and wildlife to thrive together. Przewalski's horse went extinct in the wild in the 1960s. And on a recent trip to Kazakhstan, I thought about the ongoing and successful efforts in that country to bring these horses back to the Central Asian steppe. The world needs happy stories, to watch the impossible become possible, and to see hope restored. And that's what's happening today with Przewalski's horse.
The Bronx received its first Przewalski's horses all the way back in 1902. To date, we've had over 50 foals born right here, including a young colt born in the beginning of spring. The Przewalski's horse is just one of many animals involved in the Species Survival Plan, or SSP. Zoos around the world, including the Bronx Zoo, are working together to breed healthy populations of endangered species. Our hope is that one day these animals may be able to return to their rightful homes back in the wild. We'll be leaving the Przewalski's horse pasture behind in just a few moments, everyone. Don't worry, folks, we're just going to keep on moving and we should get a good look soon enough. The animal we're searching for here looks something like a big brown bull. If you spot one, then you're looking at the world's largest species of wild cattle, the gaur. Adult gaur can reach 6 feet tall and 10 feet long, and they can tip the scales at over 2,000 pounds, as much as a small car. With their impressive size and powerful horns, fully grown gaur can fight off just about any predator, even a tiger. Here we go. We're going to get a better look as we continue on our way. They're going to start coming into view over on the right. As we keep moving, here's our keeper Dave with more about our gaur herd here at the Bronx Zoo.
Hi, I'm Dave, a wild animal keeper here in Wild Asia. When the Bronx Zoo received 2 female and 1 male gaur from the San Diego Zoo, it took a couple of introductions before all the animals were comfortable. But after a little bit of time, the 3 new animals fully integrated into the herd, and we have the family that you see today. A family group of gaur can consist of up to 40 individuals and is typically led by an older adult female called the matriarch. Since the 2 females and 1 male have been added to this family, there have been a number of offspring. This is important because gaur are considered to be a vulnerable species, so it's vital to maintain a healthy growing herd here at the zoo.
Now I'm guessing that most of us here on board... Oh, sorry, wrong one. At this point in our journey, you may notice some noise coming from a concrete jungle rather than our Asian one. It can be easy to forget at times that the Bronx Zoo sits in the heart of an urban environment, but the noise coming from behind our train is traffic on the Bronx River Parkway. Tall wooden fences, like the ones we'll be passing up ahead, help to keep out some of the city noise. That way, the animals can have a little more peace and quiet. Now, as we keep on moving and start to round the next bend, just another quick reminder to everyone on board to please stay in those seats. I know things can get a little exciting, but this next enclosure is one we need to be safe around. In a few moments, we're going to be on the lookout for a Malayan tiger. Cool stuff, but remember, we need everybody in their seats. That goes for kids and grown-ups. Parents and guardians, make sure the little ones are in a seat or a lap. They can't be standing up. And kids, be sure to keep an eye on those grown-ups too. Here she is, resting by the pond. This is Suhana. She's an adult female Malayan tiger. Of the two species we have at the Bronx Zoo, Amur and Malayan tigers are the smaller species. Tigers hunt a variety of animals, but they prefer mid-sized deer and wild boar. Typically, tigers will gorge themselves on a fresh kill, eating as much as 40 pounds of meat in a single sitting. That's like a human eating 160 sandwiches for a single meal. After eating that much, tigers normally won't need to eat again for several days, during which they'll take some of their famous cat naps. Like all cats, tigers love to sleep. They can spend over 16 hours a day just napping. For a chance to see some more of our tigers, try stopping by Tiger Mountain. As we continue on our way, here's some more info from our WCS experts about our efforts in tiger conservation.
WCS works with many species of tigers in the wild and at the zoo. Here is a note from one of our field scientists about his experience working with rangers to protect tigers in Indonesia.
Hi, my name is Faru Amama. I'm helping the rangers of the national park in doing their forest patrol. There was a time when we found some tigers' footprints in the jungle. But then we also found that some snares are installed inside the forest, which become threats to the animal. We dismantle the snares to make sure that the tiger are safe.
This next area here is just the back end of the Gower pasture. Oh, you can get another look at the herd towards the top right side of the hill. Typically, they like to gather here later in the day when they're preparing to return to their barn for the evening. Likewise, we've also got the back end of the deer meadow. Here we go. Towards the left, we have another one of the blackbuck antelope. Where's the rest of them? Well, looks like they're resting on the hillside. We've also got more of our lovely peafowl, though I'm guessing you've seen a number during your visit today already. The male peafowl are the peacocks. They're the ones with those bright blue heads and iconic green tail feathers. Female peafowl are peahens. They have darker feathers as well as green rings around their necks. And when peahens mate with peacocks, they make pea chicks. As we pass through this coming thicket, we're looking for a short, dark-colored animal that blends with the muddy environment it calls home. If you spy what looks a lot like a pig, then you've found a babarusa. The name babarusa means pig deer in the Malay language. That name refers to the male's tusks, which grow out from the tops of their snouts. Male babarusa will use their tusks to impress females and to compete with rival males. They're native to the Indonesian island of Sulawesi. Now, they may look like horns or antlers, but those are tusks, meaning that what's coming out of the babarusa snout is actually a modified set of teeth. Now, in the next yard, get ready to meet one of the stars of the show, as well as one of the largest animals here at the Bronx Zoo. Standing by the pond, it's Patty, the Asian elephant. The first thing you'll probably notice about Patty is her impressive size. To maintain that lovely figure, she has to eat 200 pounds of food and drink 60 gallons of water every day. And be sure to get a good look at her trunk when we pass by too. Elephant tusks are made up of over 40,000 muscles. That's more than 60 times the number in a human body. They're strong enough to rip down tree limbs, yet so gentle they can pluck a single blade of grass from the ground. Our elephants at the Bronx Zoo receive plenty of one-on-one care from staff. That includes regular baths, pedicures, and training sessions to help keep their minds active. You'll notice that Patty has quite a bit of dust and straw tossed up onto her back. Elephants like to Elephants like to give themselves little dust baths throughout the day because it helps to scare away insects that could irritate their skin. In the next yard, we're going to be looking for some more large land animals. Let's see here. Looks like they may still be towards the back half of their yard. Don't worry, folks. As soon as the train's fully clear of the elephant space, I can speed the train up just a little so we can try getting a better view. In this yard, we're looking out for our greater one-horned rhinoceros duo. There's 10-year-old mother Priya and her 2-year-old son, Patrick. Alright, in just a moment, we'll speed things up. And then, once we pass by all these trees in the middle, we'll get a better look. Here at the Bronx Zoo, we care for 5 greater one-horned rhinos. Tending to these animals can be a unique challenge, especially when it comes to breeding. A female rhinoceros will carry a pregnancy for 16 months, while the birth weight of a calf can be up to 150 pounds. Baby rhinos normally stay with their mamas for 2 to 3 years. Patrick will be turning 3 this year, so it won't be much longer before he's ready to become independent. But for now, he still prefers to spend time with his mama. Speaking of which, we should be able to spot the 2 of them after we pass by these trees. They're not in the front and they're not in the middle, so they've got to be here in the back. Here we go. Looks like mother and son are enjoying some time in the mud together. Rhinos love mud because it's a natural bug repellent and sunscreen. Their skin might look super tough, almost like armor, but it's actually very sensitive and just made up of many folds. Sadly, all rhinoceros species are currently classified as endangered. Recent estimations have the population of greater one-horned rhino surviving in India and Nepal at less than 4,000 individuals. As we continue past the rhinoceros yard, here's some more on the subject from our experts. The WCS is one of the organizations working to help protect wild rhino populations.
The rhinos you see here are Indian rhinos. We work with habitats all over the world that are homes to rhinos. Here is a note from our field office in Sumatra, and Wulan, who works with the Sumatran rhino. Sumatran rhinos are the smallest of the world's rhinos, and they are considered critically endangered.
My name is Wulan Pusparini, and I'm the Species Conservation Specialist for WCS Indonesia program. We carried out an island-wide survey of the last wild population of Sumatran rhinoceros in Indonesia. With so many unknowns on how to manage Sumatran rhinos in the wild or captivity, our studies showed definitively that we must protect them at source. The cost of doing nothing could be the extinction of the species, and I can't imagine that.
As we continue ahead on our journey, we ought to get ready. Our observation skills are going to come in handy. Asia is the continent with the widest diversity of deer species, and we weren't done with just the first meadow. As we clear the trees, we'll be looking for 4 different deer species and 1 species of antelope. Here we go. Some of the first we'll see resting by the fenced area on the left are the hog deer. Hog deer get that name because they're short and stocky like hogs, and they prefer to move like hogs too. They like to crouch and crawl under things rather than lean over like other deer. There's some more on the hillside too as we continue on our way. Looks like most of our herds are still a bit further into the meadow. That's pretty normal for this time of day. They tend to crowd around here later on when they're getting ready to return to the barns. Don't worry though, let's just keep on moving and we'll get a good look at everybody else soon enough. Here we go. Towards the top of the hill, we have one of our female Elds deer. The Elds is also known as the brow antlered deer due to the distinctive shape of the male's antlers, which grow straight backwards rather than flaring out. That said, we have a female herd of Elds at the moment. For the majority of deer species, the males grow the antlers, while the females do not. Further up, we have some more hog deer and some more female elks. In the back left corner of the hill, we have a gathering of sandbars. The sandbar is the tallest Southern Asian deer species. Adults can reach over 5 feet tall at the shoulders. With that height, they like to stand on their back legs to reach low-hanging leaves for grazing. And towards the back left, we have some of our female Miyagi antelope. The name Miyagi means blue bull in Hindi, which refers to males of their species, which have distinctive bluish coats. Definitely flashy compared to the female's tan and white pattern. And in the next section of the meadow, we're looking out for the Chinese tufted deer. Now the Chinese tufted is very small, only around 40 pounds, and their dark fur can make them a little tricky to spot. I recommend looking carefully under trees and towards the fence line. They like to hide in the leaf piles. Here we go, there's one resting along the back left fence as we continue moving. The Chinese tufted deer gets its name from distinct tufts of fur that grow on top of their heads. They're very rare in zoos outside of China, so we're lucky to have a small herd of our own. That said, they can be a bit shy, especially on hot days like today. They do prefer cooler weather. Odds are most of the herd is hiding out in the shade, where their small size and dark color really make them tricky to spot. We're about to start crossing back over the Bronx River. Here comes a good photo op for anybody with a camera. Thousands of commuters cross over this waterway every day, but beneath the elevated tracks and highways, the river rushes along, providing a perfect home for geese, ducks, turtles, and fish. Whether it's the Irrawaddy River in Asia or the Bronx River here at home, waterways are a vital resource for life all over the world. The rocky terrain we're entering now is where you'll find our mountain goats. If you see a goat with a beard and corkscrew-shaped horns, you're looking at a Markhor. If the goat has no beard and its horns are short and curved backwards, you're looking at a Himalayan tahr. The tahr and the Markhor both have special hooves with rubbery cores, which help them grip upright surfaces. That includes rock faces and even trees. If we were going to search for these goats out in the wild, we would need to be prepared to do some serious mountain climbing. You'll notice that the elder male Markhor, like the one up on the tree, have very full, almost mane-like beards, and their horns grow to be a lot taller than those of the females. And don't worry about how he got up there or how he'll get down. Along with their special climbing hooves, adult Markhor have a very special vertical leap. They can jump 6 to 8 feet straight up in the air, which helps to make life in the steep rocky cliffs a breeze. Now as we approach the next area, just another quick reminder to please stay in those seats, and if you can, folks, please try to keep those voices down. Oh dear. It turns out the next area may actually be unoccupied at the moment. That's always a bit of a shame. You see, folks, when it's super hot like it is today, we give some animals a choice on whether they'd prefer to go out or stay in. It's always a bummer when the animals are somewhere we can't spot them very easily, but their comfort and safety needs to come first. Don't worry, folks, you can discover more of Wild Asia not too far from here. Right here in the Asia Plaza, we've got Jungle World, which is definitely worth a visit if you haven't walked through yet. Jungle World is an immersive, indoor, simulated rainforest where you can meet short-clawed river otters, tree kangaroos, tapirs, several different monkey species, and a whole lot more. As we round this last bend, our journey is almost at an end. You've heard from some of our experts here and in the field, and put your own observation skills to the test. We hope that you were inspired by what you've seen and heard here today. Sadly, conflicts between humans and wildlife are becoming a growing concern all over the world. Experts at the Wildlife Conservation Society are working around the clock in over 60 countries. Our hope is that their efforts will help to build a future where humans and animals can live together in peace. Just by visiting us here today, you're helping us help wildlife. To find more ways you can get involved, visit us at our website, wcs.org. There, you can read up about education programs, plan your next visit, or sign up to become a WCS member.